Hey everybody, and welcome back to Bigfoot Cooking, where today we are making chocolate muffins. Ooh, is it breakfast? Is it dessert? Who cares? It's delicious. So to start this party, we just need a few simple ingredients, just like always, just like everything you can do yourself. We're gonna need 1 3/4 cup of flour. We're gonna need 2/3 a cup of cocoa, half a teaspoon of salt, aka a real heavy pinch, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda. Don't mix those two up, it will change the flavor big time. Half a cup of brown sugar, half a cup of regular sugar, 2 eggs, 3 tablespoons of oil, preferably a non-flavored. Don't use olive oil, it'll kind of get a little funky. A 1/4 cup of butter, which is half a stick, 1 1/3 cups of milk, a teaspoon of vinegar, and some dark chocolate. Now for me, I use 70%. You can go up to 85 and 90, but the higher the count, the more bitter the chocolate is. To me, about a 70 is a good mix on that. Still a little sweet without getting too far down the dark alley, but use your preference. So we're gonna do 2 things first. First, we're gonna mix the vinegar with the milk. There's a purpose behind this. What it does, that little bit of vinegar provides a little bit of acidity that helps curdle the milk. Sound appetizing? Not to drink, but definitely to bake. So you mix these two together, and then the second thing you do, you put your oven on 410 degrees. Reason being, what we're doing, you start out this bake with a high temperature for about 5 minutes, and then you're gonna bring it down to 375 for the other 15. Don't worry, I'll remind you as we get closer to that part. But step 1, oven 410, then we mix the dry. Now, to sift this, we're just gonna run it through this here little strainer. Nothing complicated, nothing crazy. But the reason being is, especially, not so much with the flour, it will help sift out the flour and get the clumps out, but chocolate will always have some bigger lumps with it unless you get what's it called, Dutch refined or something like that. The normal chocolate though, you will have some of the bigger pieces in it. You'll see once we sift this through. But not only does this do a good job of sifting out the large pieces, it also, as you can see already, mixes this really well. So it's step 1 in the mixing process. Let's get this all shook through here. Take your whisk and just spin it around the sifter and it'll speed things up. Now, if you see what I'm talking about, we've got all these little chocolate balls that are left behind. That's where the natural cocoa kind of clumps back together. And this is why you run it through the whisk. Otherwise, you wind up with just these little hard balls of chocolate in the mix, ruins the whole bite experience. Nothing wrong with it, but you just take and keep grinding it through and it'll eventually go away. And like magic, poof, it never happened. And we've got ourselves a chocolatey flour dough right here. Look at that, look at that. But wait, the flour needs more. Time to add our salt, all the sugar, all the dust, our baking powder, and our baking soda. Again, make sure you don't mix up your quantities on baking powder and baking soda. It will totally ruin the whole experience. We want chocolate deliciousness, not like an aluminum taste. We'll get this mixed in a little bit, and then of course, the last of the deal, the brown sugar. The reason why I wait till last is brown sugar is it has a little bit of a texture to it. And so when you plop it in, it tends to stay that way. We got to break it up and mix it in. Just a little crunch, 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 and spin, spin, spin. See, all the flour and everything else and the chocolate gives the brown sugar something to bite onto to help it loosen up, to keep it from being clumpy in here. All right, everybody looks good in the pool. Let's set this off to the side and mix in all the wet things. All right, time to get liquefied. We've got our 2 eggs that we're gonna start with. Pour them across the whisk, that way, well, 1 broke. We'll bust them up and mix them in a little. From there, we add our oil to it. And from there, we're gonna add I actually call it buttermilk now. It's our clabbered milk, because adding the vinegar to it, watch what it does. You know how regular milk pours all nice and smooth? But once you do that, you get these lumps in here. Yeah, looks funny, but tastes good. Changes, it gives the, whatever you're making, it richens it up some. It gives it something to bite into when you don't want dry and just tasteless. This will help smooth some of that out. And of course, once we get all this mixed in, I went ahead and melted the butter and let it cool down a little bit. So that way we can add it to this, because if the butter is hot when you pour it in, you can cook the eggs. We're not making butter fried eggs. Oh no, we're making chocolate muffins. Big difference here. Let's get these mixed in, and then let's get them mixed in with the dry. When I pour the wet into the dry, not only are we gonna get a batter, we're also gonna do a little science work. Vinegar is also gonna react with the baking soda in here. Like, you know those volcanoes you made in school where you mix the two things together and lava comes out everywhere? Not as drastic as that, but it's gonna do the same thing in here. It's gonna help provide it lift, which is why once we do this, we're gonna try to mix it together real quick and then start spooning it into the cupcakes. So let's go. Join in, everybody. Woo! It is a party for all. We'll just do a little whisk, whisk, whisk. And there we go. A good thin batter. It's just gonna scoop right in there, but oh, it's gonna taste so good. Let me get the muffin tins. All right, let's see if I can do this without making a gigantic mess. Now I'm gonna fill these up just till they're level with the actual metal part of the tin. You don't wanna fill these completely full because, well, they gotta have room to grow up on you to get big and strong. And we scraping the bottom of the bowl, but I'm gonna get this one last one here. All right, we got 11 muffins out of this mix. Now, before we set them in the oven though, they need one more thing. Chocolate on top. I mean, what's better than more chocolate on chocolate, right? Let's chop this up, make it into some bite-sized pieces, and we're gonna set it on top of these. Wonder if it comes with a golden ticket. Nope, no golden ticket, just some good dark chocolate. Now let's do some chop chop. Now, could you trim this up into some glorious way? I'm sure you could. Is it gonna taste any different? Not at all. We'll just take a handful of our freshly made chocolate chunks, and you'll just present a few to each one of them. That way, you know, you got a good bite of something in every one. Got a little heavy-handed. Darn, guess I'll have to chop up some more. Now, we're gonna set these again. We're gonna set them in the oven. It's a 410-degree oven. We're gonna do it for 5 minutes. After that 5 minutes, we're gonna turn the temperature down to 375 and let it finish out there for about 15 more minutes. And then, of course, you put the stick in it to make sure it's done. Watch them rise. Ding dong, the timer has gone off. And let's see what's awaiting for us now. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, looky there. So happy they even stuck together in the middle. Now, the chocolate is gooey. The smell is yummy. Let's pull them off and let them cool. So today is actually a better day than I anticipated. I learned something. I learned that our local Bigfoot Benson, well, he doesn't like chocolate. He does not want a single one of these chocolate muffins. Why? I don't know. Is a Bigfoot allergic to chocolate? Who knows? I just know the coolest thing is that he came, he sniffed, and he left. These are all mine. I get to nom nom nom. Just like you can subscribe. That's right. When you click the subscribe button, it turns to subscribed. It's a magic thing. Try it out, see it, believe me, test it. If you don't like it, click it 3 times. It'll still be a subscribed. It's a neat trick. Now I've still got to give these a few minutes to cool down because, oh, I want to eat some. But oh, they taste better. They actually, when they cool down, like right now, if you try to eat them fresh out the oven, they're extremely soft. They'd be great with milk. But as they cool down a little, they firm up just a touch. And that's what I want. I want to be able to pop it out of the paper and for it to keep its shape. So stand by. All right, things have cooled off. Let's unwrap a prize and see what we got. I mean, look at here. Perfect amount of crumbs. Everything stays together. Oh, peel it off. Look at there. Perfect. Let's break it in half. Tell you what, I'll break it on the camera. That way you can see. Ooh. Ah. I know. Chocolate muffins, right? And of course, big old glass of milk to go with it. Let's make some disappear since I ain't got to compete with nobody for it. This is good. But you know what I should have done? I should have put chocolate chips inside of it. Oh, that would have been a triple threat. But until then, it's just me, my muffins, and knowing that Bigfoot is real. And knowing that you subscribe too. Thank you.
Home ec for the redneck.
That's right. Welcome to Home Ec for the Redneck. Today we're going to do ourselves some chocolate vittles.